welcome again to another episode of The Consistency Queen. My name is Elsa Morgan. I'm a wife, I'm a mum, and I have a global coaching business that helps to elevate women, expand their vision, increase their income from vision to brand. I'm so excited to bring you this episode because I get asked this question many, many times. How do you establish habits? And so know that what I'm going to speak to you today is something that I have experienced myself from becoming this highly triggered, self-sabotaging version. Mind you, I'm not perfect yet, but I was a version back in 2018, 2019 that I don't even recognize today. And I'll share with you a 3-step process where you can start moving towards a behavior that's going to form into a habit because you embody it. Okay, now the first thing that you need to understand is before you can decide what it is that you want to change, you need to identify it. So what I did is I started journaling. And when I began to journal all those circumstances and situations that were triggering me, that were affecting me emotionally, that were potentially putting me out of alignment, I started to identify patterns in my behavior. But more importantly, how did I deal with it? And sometimes I would just go to the pantry and I would just eat some chips, or I would, engage in some lollies, or just do some things that were just not in alignment with who I wanted to become. And so once I identified those, and by then I'd already knew what I needed to kick out in terms of my behavior. I then made a commitment. Okay, well, I'm no longer going to be this version. Like when I get upset or things are not going my way, I'm not going to have a bar of chocolate, or I'm not going to have, a bowl of crisps because I just feel this way about myself. I just have to navigate that and just change it. Those times where I didn't want to get up in the morning in the past, when I started to identify how having a very strict morning routine, because that's what I need. I'm not saying that everyone has to, but I definitely identify with having a strong morning routine because that's how I set myself up for the day and I am able to show up powerfully. When I realized that, then anytime that I didn't want to, I literally incorporated things that would remind me of why I needed to keep going. So this is what I want to speak to today. Once you've identified the behavior that you need to replace in terms of things that are no longer serving you, what is the opposite behavior or the new behavior that you need to adopt that's going to replace that? And this is what's really important. So identify the behavior that you want to replace, and then what's the behavior that you want to adopt. So let me give you an example. Number one is potentially you want to reduce your screen time watching Netflix. Okay, that could be something that you might want to do, particularly in the next 90 days, leading into the end of 2023. You might want to remove that behavior because you want to reallocate your time in and focusing on, getting yourself closer to your year-end goal. So what you could be doing is something like maybe putting the actual the remote. The remote. You could put it away, in a drawer, so it's not so visible. Or you could maybe, this is very extreme, but James Clear, who is the author of Atomic Habits, he actually shifted his couches to face away from the TV. So that way, when he sat down, he wasn't looking at the TV, he was looking at something very, very different. So that's particularly extreme, but that is something that you can do as well. Or you can block in time, where you could put it in your calendar where during this specific, time block, between 7 and 8 or something to that effect, that's the only time that you would watch it. Watch Netflix, watch TV, whatever. So identify the behavior that you want to replace and then replace it with the behavior. So in that case, I would be either putting it into my calendar, or I would put myself reminders of the reasons why I needed to move this way. So when I wanted to, wake up early and stay on track with my morning routine, with my alarm, I would put like a verse of something, of a song like I am titanium, or you are unstoppable, or, know that this is leading you somewhere. So that was a trigger for me to remind me of why I needed to do this. So always work towards things that are going to alert you, remind you, or just give you that little bit of a nudge, because to be able to replace the behavior is going to take a little bit of work in the beginning. You will probably want to default to the old behavior, but by putting in little triggers, it's going to remind you and then keep you focused to where you want to go, right? Secondly, you want to block that in. Like I just mentioned, I put in the alarm to make sure that it happened, or you can put it into a calendar, or you can put sticky notes around, or you can tell people, so like a coach or a mentor, your family members, to hold you accountable, because this is what's needed to, change the behavior. A lot of people don't understand that changing the behavior is not as easy as, hey, I'm just going to decide to do it today, and then it just happens. No, especially if you've been having this behavior, this habit for a long time, to rewire that, change that to something completely different is going to take you time and will require you to be focused and intentional as you start moving towards where you want to go in terms of a new behavior, and then moving away from old behavior. And your subconscious will fight you on this, because this is what you've programmed it to. So you've got to be patient, you've got to be disciplined, and use any form of accountability that you can, like sticky notes, alarms, calendar, your family, like tell people, okay, to remind you and to keep you on track. In my coaching programs, we have a tracking system. We have a tracker there's all these activities that they need to do in their business, and there's also some habits, some behavioral habits that they can put in there as well, and they track that for the entire month, so they can see how they're moving along towards the person that they want to become versus where they've started from. Now, most people want to do that. They like the idea of becoming this new version and achieving those goals, but the implementation piece is the thing that really trips them up, because they don't realize how challenging it is, right? The last bit where I really, really believe this helped me more than anything is the consistency piece. You see, nothing will speed up the process more than you being consistent and committed to doing it every single day. You see, when you start the journey of adopting something new, it's not so much how much you do it, how long you do it. It's just you showing up in that moment, and you can start off small. You can definitely just take one step. You can definitely just do 1 minute, 2 minutes if you're doing exercise, or you can have a quarter of your plate of salad if you're wanting to incorporate, salads and greens and vegetables in your meals. Just start off small. It's the actual action. It's the behavior in showing up at the very beginning, no matter how small, that is the most important bit. And as you continue doing that behavior, you will start stacking up your efforts. And as you get better at showing up without thinking, you can increase, where you might go 5 minutes to 10 minutes, or you might have half a plate of salads and vegetables, or you might read from 5 pages to 10 pages. Most people make the mistake of going all in and doing the big thing from the very get-go. Rather, how I've done it and how I advocate is just start off by doing the behavior in the beginning. How much can you commit to in the beginning? If it's 2 pages of your book, do 2 pages of your book. And then when you can, after a week or 2 weeks, go to 3, go to 4, go to 5. And then eventually you'll be reading 10 pages without even thinking about it. But if I was to tell you, hey, you've got to read 10 pages up front, there would be massive resistance and alarm bells going off in your head about things that just, I don't know if I can do that. I can't even do 1 page. But how I did it is I just started off small. And the thing that I committed to was just showing up every day. And then the minute that I got good at just showing up, I then expanded or increased my time. And then that made me get better at what I was doing. And what happened is, as the compounding effect works, my efforts, because I was so consistent, compounded over time. And then that's when I experienced acceleration. That's when I kicked into momentum, and the behavior started being a part of me. I started doing it without even thinking about it. And when you're there, you know that you've gone another level, that you've absolutely gone to another place. And so that is how I have been able to establish habits and new behaviors to become this version today. And of course, I'm evolving even still now every single day. But the key thing is that you know where you want to go, so you understand the behaviors that you need to adopt, identify the behaviors you need to replace, make a commitment, get a plan together of how you're going to make this happen, like how you're going to change your behavior, get an accountability system together. So then that way, whenever you feel like defaulting to the old behavior, you know that you've got something to fall back on to remind you of things, of the reasons why you need to keep going. And also get yourself some triggers. Like for me, I use my alarm system with keywords and songs, just to help me, to remind me of why I needed to become this next level version. And then most importantly, is you just start off with the behavior, commit small, and just get good at just showing up every single day. And then increase your numbers, increase your workload over time. Don't overwhelm yourself from the very beginning, and just stick to it every single day, because believe me, the efforts will compound and you'll hit acceleration, and then this will become your new habit. And know that, you know what, no matter what, you're human. You will probably screw it up at some point. You will fall over at, one or two times. That's okay. The key thing is you get back up again. That is the most important thing, is that there is no perfect execution when you are looking at behavioral change. The only thing that I can tell you is this: the stronger that you are connected to your vision and who you want to become and who you want to serve, the more likely that you'll get up quicker and you'll go again. That is the most important thing, and more important than going again, get up quickly. Like, don't stay down there and just be down on yourself because you screwed up. You're human. You're allowed to do that. Give yourself some grace. At least you're giving it a go, okay? But knowing that you know where you want to go, because to be able to achieve bigger things, you're going to have to change certain things about you, because your current behaviors, your current routines, and the way that you speak and think and talk right now, there's elements of it that are keeping you where you are. And there's just going to be some shifts that are necessary for you to move to the next level. So I hope this has helped you. I know it's definitely helped me, and it's helped my clients, who are amazing. And know that I am here to serve. And of course, if you're wanting more content like this, please press the subscribe button and follow me. Leave me a comment and let me know what you found most valuable out of this episode. You can also hop onto my Apple Podcast, Spotify, and leave me a 5-star review. If you want to be a part of my community, you can always go into my free Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/The Legacy Academy. Or of course, you can hop onto my website. You can drop me a note and send me an email at elsamorgan.com. I respond to every single one of my emails personally. I love you. I thank you for being a part of me in this journey and spending some time with me today. I hope you got some value, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.
The Consistency Queen, brought to you by the Queenie Effect and the Tech Company. For coaching options, please visit elsamorgan.com.